Hey, very quickly now, I would like to talk a little bit about this HTML file that we are generating here. So, I don't know if you were curious and actually open the source code of this HTML file. If not, I'll open it now and talk about this a little bit. So, what we've got here is we have these HTML tags, and here comes the HTML code. Which renders the web page that we're seeing on the browser. Now, as you know, you have also JavaScript and CSS, where JavaScript is a scripting language that makes possible the interaction between the elements in the browser in your web page, and CSS, which is responsible for the styling of your HTML text and other elements. So you need this JavaScript and CSS files, and if you can see here we are declaring the style sheet, and as you see, this is stored in a remote server. So every time you're generating a graph, Bokeh is actually pulling this this CSS file from this server, so pydata.org, and the same thing goes for the JavaScript file. So here. But it is also possible to actually host these two files locally in your computer. So this is the default mode, and it's called the CDN mode. And actually we can specify that mode in here. So at the moment, the mode, so we have a mode parameter there, and this is set to CDN, which stands for Content Delivery Network, which basically is your HTML file is fetching the JavaScript and the CSS files from a remote server. So this is a default. Now, if you want, you can actually pass some other arguments here. So you may pass relative, or you may pass absolute, or inline. Let's quickly try them out. So relative, execute the plot, remove this old one, so you still get the same output. So if you have a look at this now, you'll see that your CSS file is being saved in your local directory here, so which is inside the Bokeh directory, so the Bokeh library directory inside packages, and here and here, and so bokeh.min.css, and the same thing for the JavaScript file. So that's for the relative. For absolute, you'd get same thing, but this would not be relative path, but you'd have something like, C backslash and your path to the user and so on. You get the idea. And you've also got the inline. So this, as you might expect, you get the same results, of course. But if you check this now, you'll see lots of code in here, because the JavaScript file is loading inline, so in your HTML file, and your style sheet, so the CSS code is here as well. So probably not the best solution, but something I thought you should know about. And the last thing I'd like to show you is actually how to remove this toolbar here, and also this logo, or even how to keep only one or two of these tools here. So the way to do that is, so let's do it with the Bokeh.charts interface first. So what you have to do is you need to pass a tools parameter there, and if you set it to an empty string like this, you'll get no toolbar in there. You still get this Bokeh logo though, which takes you to the Bokeh web page. So if you want to remove that too, you can say logo equals to none, and the logo disappears. And you can actually do the same for the figure object here. So tools equals to none and logo equals to none, and you get a clean graph here. And lastly, if you want to show, let's say, only the pan tool, so you write pan, so you pass it as a string there, and you get the pan tool only there. If you want to have specific tools, so the pan and the resize tool, you can have them. So just pass them divided by comma and you're okay. So that's what I wanted to tell you in this short, I believe, lecture, and see you later.